This is Steve's little tractor. Come up for some straw. They're off on tractor run tomorrow. We might get a little bit of footage for it. I wanted to go around the crops with a drone, so we might just try and include that as they're going round. I usually take part in that, but I don't get time to do anything these days. So anyway, we've got the Bowser on, farmer's out spraying, we've got a load of chemical on. I just make sure everything's locked and nothing falls out the Bowser or anything like that before we go. We're on the 6480. We'll go and take a little look at some of the, I think they're spraying off some of the set aside. I think we've got to go to Graham and Martin's, have a look at the crops up there. We can't fly the drone up there anyway, so that'll do well. We'll do that in this video. We had a day yesterday. Combine doctor was here yesterday. He found a problem with that little 6270. He's going to put a new compressor on there, so he's going to get one of those ordered. And he did some little bits and pieces with the 7716. Nothing major, just a tiny bit of adjustment on that one. Just get everything checked over here. We'll meet up with Farmer over at Alistair's farm, where the set aside is.
He did say to me, I said, did he take 2 pack?
Yeah.
I was thinking one won't be enough.
Nah.
I'm gonna have one of that.
Come in.
It makes his pump pulsate.
Yeah.
And I haven't done it with this one, but on my old one I was bugging up the diaphragms in it.
Yes. Another one of these?
Yeah.
What we got here then?
It's just glyphosate, mate.
Yeah. This is what was the set aside?
Yeah. It's just about right.
The black grass is starting to flower, I can see.
It's flowering. We can catch that, it's good. It's just right. I can't remember when we used to spray set aside. I think it was June on set aside, Matt.
Yeah.
100%. When we used to do a job, see it in flower, so it's got a way to go yet before. You can see this is all the black grass flowering.
Yeah.
And 1 or 2 have flowered. I can see the lower ones look as good as it, but the seeds ain't viable yet, Matt.
No, no. You got about what, 2 or 3 weeks afterwards, haven't you?
Yeah.
Before they're viable.
Yeah. You need, now's the time.
Yeah.
It'll do a job.
Yeah.
I was just having a look on Google to see about these biosolids, whether we can use some of that for that sewage stuff.
Yeah.
It's southwest, I've looked up and it's southwest water or something through this area.
They deliver it and spread it today?
Yeah.
Alright.
I wonder if that's gonna, whether that's an option.
Yeah. Instead of fertiliser or as well as?
Well, as well as.
Yeah. Yeah. Is that a high mix or what is that? What does that mean?
Yeah.
3.5 litres to what?
Hectare.
Correct. And how much water do you put with that? Is that chemical? 3.5 litres of chemical?
Yeah. On this, I've just shut back to 100 litres. I've been putting more than that on what we've done because it's a bit thicker than this.
So if you've got a real thick overgrowth, you put more water on to get it in there, do you?
Yeah. I've been putting on 180 on ours.
Yeah.
So it took me a little bit longer. And on Jim's was quite thick.
When you're filling this up, do you have to pre-mix 1,000 litres at the front?
Yeah.
And then you have to pre-mix 1500 at the back, and you have to mix them accordingly.
Yeah, that's filling the front tank, that. But I'm claiming at the front, that's filling the back tank. It'll fill through that hole. Graham plumbed it up for me, so I don't have to I can fill the front separate, and I can use 2 different chemicals if I want it.
Oh, so you can have glyphosate in the back, and then
yeah,
if you had a small bit of fungicide to do,
yeah,
you could do that.
Yeah, but you've got to wash out. But you.
Oh, your booms have got to be washed out.
Sometimes on if you went to Graham's then and you got 2 different fields, you had 2 different. If you had 10 hectares, I can get 10 hectares in the front basically. So you could do 2 different fields of wheat with different chemistry.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have to change.
No, no.
And it's quite useful. Sometimes that is quite useful.
Yeah. Why does that fill up like that?
It's just in the barn.
Oh.
I have to have this open to get it to feed to the front.
Yeah.
So when the induction off is sucking, and I can turn that, I can feed it to the front. So in the bottom there, look, what cleans the whole frame.
Yeah.
But you don't want it sucking out, it'll suck air in.
Yeah.
So you just let it run.
Oh, yeah.
And but it will just fill up, you have to keep an eye on it.
And that's a mixer in a way, is it?
Yeah. I'll wash the cans out of that.
Yeah.
And if you're using powders, it's useful for that. If you're using a powder,
Yeah.
And I can actually tip powder straight in that, it's pretty damn good.
But when you're doing, like, say you're doing a lot of glyphosate now, you have to mix the chemical to the same dilution in the front.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit different mix in the front.
Yeah,
otherwise it'd be overpowered in the front.
100 litres is easy because you know it's 1,000 litres is 10 hectares.
Yeah, and then when you switch to the back, you'll put more glyphosate in because you've got more water, haven't you?
I'll put 1,500 in the back. I can squeeze 1,700 in that tank.
Yeah.
If I fill it absolutely to the nab,
Yeah.
and there's certain fields that I can do, I know if I fill it right to the nuts, I can do it.
Yeah.
If I was going again, mate, I would probably have a 1,500 litre on the tank front and a 1,500 on the back.
Pretty out.
I could have that bigger, you know, it looks small on the front, doesn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I very rarely use that cleaning tank, if I'm honest. I probably wouldn't have expected that again.
No.
Because it's easy just to clean out. Like today, we've got to wash out to go to Graham.
Yeah. And you'll get 2 full fills with that, will you?
Yeah.
But if you had a bigger tank, you'd have to go and fill that, wouldn't you?
Sometimes, right, I could have had a bigger one of them. And the only reason I didn't, because if you're going around the headlands in the winter when it's wet, you don't want
weight.
You don't want too much weight.
No.
And that would travel beautiful around the headlands, you know. How
you
I'm
almost want double wheels then, don't you?
Yeah.
And then everything gets
expensive. How I'm
expensive.
working it now, where we're taking the bales at places and sitting it there, I would probably have been better having a 10,000 litre one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because we're going places and just sitting it on the headlands, we ain't got the manpower about now, and Lynn's too busy to do it. When Lynn wasn't too busy to do it, it worked.
Yeah.
Now she's a bit too busy really to sit on that mat. I would have touched them better off now with a 10,000 litre.
Yeah. You could go all day then, couldn't you?
Yeah, I could change it. That's south.
Oh yeah, there's nothing wrong with that.
The other side of that as well, Matt, down the road is handful, isn't it? So
yeah, she's heavy.
All of a sudden,
you know you got it on there, even with 5,000.
I know. So all of a sudden then, you're thinking to yourself, well, what do you want to do with it, innit?
Yeah. Right, so this is glyphosate going on. There he goes. Farmer's, yeah, he's had a few days at it. He's been around the set aside at home. So this is set aside. We're over at Alice's at the moment. This is all set aside. And basically, the moment you take your straw off, you're not allowed to touch this field. You're not allowed to drive on it. You're not allowed to do anything with it until, we're actually past the date now, May. I don't know what the date is, May the 8th or something like that. So farmer's been busy. He's been doing disease control on winter wheats. He's been spraying some of the spring crops that we're going to have a look around. We're going to have a look around some of the crops today, and on the next video tomorrow I'm going to go out with my drone. The guys have got their little tractor run thing for charity, so we're going to have a little look at that as they drive through one of the villages, and we'll also take a look at some of the spring crops that we haven't seen yet as well. So all this is just going to die off. This is the problem weed that we have mainly in the UK here. This is number one, I would say. This is a black grass plant, yield robber. If you've got this in your crop, yeah, it's just disaster. Each one of these plants produces hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of little seeds. Anyway, they're just flowering now. That's what the fluffy stuff is. It's just flowering, and then in 2 weeks time, 2 to 3 weeks time, the seeds will then start dropping out and they'll be viable to grow again. And then one little plant, one of those, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4 loads in the bottom there as well. They're all going to drop loads of hundreds of thousands of seeds, and then it'll be a right problem. This isn't one of our worst fields for blackgrass, but there is a lot in it, I can see, come this year. Anyway, farmers spraying it all off. Everything's going to die, and in August we're then allowed to start cultivation. So Keithy will come through with the disc grater. We'll probably come through with the mole plows as well, because the wet weather just seems to be more prominent these days. And then autumn time, October time, we'll be in with the drill. There'll be one more final spray off, so Keithy will cultivate it. Then we'll put a fine cultivation across it with the Cultimax. That'll get a fine tilth, and then yeah, there'll be one spray to kill off any weeds and anything that comes through. Then we'll come through with a drill and drill it, and we may have a new drill coming for the autumn. So we'll see that when it comes. That's a little bit farther ahead. We've got all of harvest and haymaking and straw making to do. But yeah, we got to go and pick up some more water now. So we run around, we go and grab the water for the farmer, so he hasn't got to keep travelling backwards and forwards to the water source. There's a water source at every farm. He can't carry all the chemical on there, so the chemical's in the back of this, and that's it. So we'll go and have a look at the winter wheat, because it's over by the water source. We've got some set aside here. He's using GPS. Look, you can see the nice lovely straight rows. That keeps his sprayer right, even when you haven't got anything to go over to in the field. So he sets his sprayer up one end at well, he actually always allows for a tiny bit of overlap, just in, okay, so he actually sets his sprayer at 23.8, and that means he will not miss any then, because his GPS isn't working on RTK, so the line can shift a little bit either one way or the other. So he always sets it up at 23.8. That way he never misses then. You always got to remember the back door on this thing. It's so easy to forget the back door and lock it down. You put your hose away and you go running off. It's already happened. There ain't much grass out there yet. That's some of our hay ground up there that we rent off Alistair. I can see there's not a lot of grass there right now, so they are talking of the weather changing. We will talk about the weather quickly, because we've had exceptionally dry weather. We've had 21 mil of rain since the middle of February, I believe, or the middle of, when did we start flying? Whenever we started flying, March. Yes, middle of March, and it's now almost the middle of May. So yes, been dry for ever such a long time. We've seen it before. We've seen it dry before. 1 year, you know, not very long time ago, if you go back through the videos, we had a year where we only filled up one of those sheds with hay. It was so dry, you know, there was no yields, no hay. It was a bit of a disaster. We'll see it again. You know, you've seen it wet, we've seen it dry. It's always different, whatever. Anyway, while we're here, we're going to look at Alice's winter wheat, because that has been the crop of the year so far, looks wise. And we're going to have a quick look across that. I will be flying the drone on the next video. We're going to look at the spring crops, because we've already done one around the winter crops. We sort of know what's what there. We know what to expect. You know, we've got some very good, like here at Alistair's, and then we've got some that is okay, and then we've got a couple of fields here and there that are just, you know, just got affected by the weather pretty good. So nothing you can do there. So, but we'll be here in the autumn drilling winter wheat this side, and then the other side of the farm, which is across, split by the motorway there, that will then be like this next year. And it's on the countryside stewardship scheme, I believe. One of those schemes that they recently shut the door on, so you can't actually become part of it anymore. And that is in the scheme for, I believe, 4 or 5 years. So it will just rotate each time, and believe it or not, they want you to have it like this. They pay you, I can't remember the figures on the matter, Andrew would know. Basically, to leave it like that for a year, they give you a lump sum of money. You don't have to touch it, you don't have to spend any money on it. The only cost is spraying it off and then cultivating it ready for the next crop. So it was a pretty good deal regardless. So it's the one and only scheme that we've actually picked them up on. Even though there are hay schemes, there are all different sorts of schemes, but they're all tied with these time critical dates that you can't go cutting for hay, you can't fertilize the grass that you're going to make for hay, you can't run animals on there, you can't run this, you can't do that. They sound brilliant, but the fine print, they're not very practical, not for us who want very high quality hay for the horse industry. So yeah, I hope some of this makes sense, because we don't really talk about this as much, or we don't really come out to the fields. Like a farmer comes out to the fields all the time, he's constantly spraying, and he's always out in the fields, you know, unless we're drilling or cultivating or working the fields, we're not sort of out here. But farmer, look, he's like the guardian of the crops. He keeps him and the agronomist together. They go through the crops and see what the plants need. If there's a bit of disease, they'll put a fungicide on. If there's a bit of insect damage, they'll put insecticide on, and stuff like that. They keep trying to do their best, because the moment you put plants in the soil, there is something, disease, insects, weather, there's something trying to take it away. So it's a right battle to get it through to harvest at good quality. And with the dry weather now, we'll have a look at the wheat and see how that's progressing. But I imagine that's now pushing a head out because of stress. So it won't be a tall crop this year because it hasn't had any water to keep growing. So yeah, it's different every year. Every year is different. Every year there's more of one plant, there's more of one weed than the other. And it's all, if it's dry, you get a lot of buttercups in the grass. If it's wet, you get a lot of something else. You know, it's just the way it is. Quickly show you how this works. Every farm we have a water tank, big water tank. This one's in. This Bowser will only carry water. We never mix chemical in the Bowser. You could do, I suppose. There are systems, I believe, out there that do it that way. And instead of farmer mixing it on board, you would have someone mixing it in the Bowser, and then he would just suck it into the sprayer and away you go. But we don't do it like that. Farmer mixes it as it goes. Just a little pump motor on there, Honda motor, most reliable thing ever. It's never ever give us any trouble, that thing. You've got a suck in, a water suck in. You've got a water push out, so if you turn the other tap, you'll push it out. And then you've got a gravity fed source there as well, which farmer sucks from out of the tank. I'll show you the meter. That's the water line there. That shows you where the level is. Pretty simple. We have to replace that little tube every year because it goes green. It's got another compartment the other side, space for chemicals. This is all contained as well, chemical contained, so if you have any spillages, it's contained within the container. It's a lovely, lovely little thing. The farmer gets 2 full sprays off it at the moment. If you were to have a bigger one, you'd have to go double axle just to spread the load of the weight. And obviously the tank would be bigger, it'd be longer, it'd be more of an handful. It just works nice. This is a little thing that works nice. We got a free day to help farmer today, so we just tow it round for him. It just means he hasn't got to come all the way across here, fill up, mix his chemical, drive all the way back to the field, and these little bits of time, they all add up. And he'll spray another, I don't know, 150 acres in a day, so that's a good thing. And this time of year, there's spray coming. The agronomist is out there checking for disease at all, like once, I don't know how many times a month, probably twice a month. So the spray sheeps keep coming in, and farmer finds himself on the sprayer a lot. So not as much as he used to be, mind. He said he used to be on the sprayer constantly, but he doesn't find himself on there as much now. Anyway, chemical store here. We've got some chemical for this winter wheat. We'll have a look at that in a minute. I'll get this thing loaded and we'll have a little look at the wheat. The wheat here is looking fantastic. I think it's going to do really well. I hope so anyway. I'll quickly show you this. This is the back of the container. Gloves, masks, anything you want in there, cleaning stuff for cleaning up. There's a bucket there for the caps, because the caps have to be disposed of differently to the cans. So the cans go in their own separate place, the caps go in their own separate place. This one here, this is a foliar feed, so it's got stuff in there: nitrogen, calcium, magnesium, sulfur, boron, manganese, molybdenum, zinc. I've said them all right. But that's a good product. That really perks the plant up when it's asking for nutrients. Yeah, farmers got some of that to go on this wheat up here. We'll have a look at the plants in a minute. This is a disease one, so we'll spread. There'll be 4 or 5 applications of this, and it's for yellow rust, and I'll probably show you. And then we'll be able to find some on the leaf. I'm sure we will. This is to go on next week, so we put it in the chemical store. Farmer can travel up here. He's got a water tank. Everything's close. It's nice. Here we are then. The winter wheat. This is looking absolutely beautiful. It's almost a shame to walk through it. Right, so pylons there, those go all the way back through past our farm. They've been working on the wires. They've reset them actually. They're not 4-strand anymore, we noticed. They've changed them over to 3-strand, and they're only doing one side. But yeah, all the pylons back through the farms there have all been changed over. There's a man working up there at a minute. I can see he's doing something up there, God knows what. Probably thinking, what's that loony doing out in the field? Anyway, plants are looking very healthy. The top leaf is the most important one. That's called the flag leaf. We want to keep that leaf as healthy as possible when looking after the wheat. So if there's any disease forming on that leaf, oh look, we've got some heads appearing as well. I would say it's probably early for heads to be appearing, but yes, that's interesting. That tells me there isn't going to be a lot more growth coming upwards. So it's short in its height. It's going to be short in its height, and all we can hope for is that we can produce a good grain in the let's pick one of these. A good grain in the head. This will change, you see, as it ripens up. That's not a bad head, to be fair. That goes right down to there. So those are going to be all the new seeds that we want to harvest, and obviously the straw for the bedding for the cows. But yeah, anyway, I can see a tiny bit of rust on a couple of these plants just starting to appear. Nothing major, nothing to rush up here for, but it's worth looking after this crop, and it should do well. But there won't be the straw quantities because it's not going to grow much higher now, and it's whether we can fill these grains out enough. Once this starts flowering, we do need some sunshine, and that's where your proteins and stuff all come from. Once the plant is flowering and the grain filling, they look nice and plump there because they're full of water at the moment, but we want those full of flower essentially, and we'll see how it does. But it's looked well from the start, and see stress in the bottom. Look, some of the bottom tillers are dying off, but it's not too bad yet. They're just starting to curl over, so if you look at the ground, they're starting to crack. So yes, a few more weeks of dry and plant will be struggling a bit. Then it's just starting to curl its leaves over, and it's trying to protect itself from the sun a little bit. But anyway, it still looks well considering how dry it's been. I'd like to see it a bit taller is the only thing, just for straw, but we'll see how it does. I've got to remember, we're on the headland there. Out in the middle of the field it'll be a bit different. But yeah, winter wheat at Alice is looking good still, and there is rain on the forecast, but it's a week away, and I don't know, they can't seem to get it right for more than 3 days ahead of themselves, so we'll see on that one. But yeah, rain is much needed at the moment around all parts for all crops. Hay, everything, so it would be nice to get some rain. Here we are back at Graham and Martin's. Last time we were here, oh my god, look at the ground. It is bone dry. Look at that. Not a drop of moisture there at all. Since the day we drilled it, we've had 20 mil. The guys did get lucky. The other day I was actually driving past at the time, and there was some thunderstorms on, and they did get one up here, so it could only have done some good. I can just see, but across the whole of the field, everything's hungry, everything's thirsty for a drink. But I don't know how well it'll do. That wet area at the top there is probably dried up. The crop's pretty clean down here, but I'm told at the top there's one or two bits of, well, not one or two, the field's yellow with Charlie. That's this stuff at the bottom here. I'll show you that. Anyway, farmer's here to spray off the worst of it. You can see in this field here all the yellow flowers. This is one of them right here. Oh, didn't quite get you. They got little tap roots on them, look. That's Charlie, little yellow flower. Hundreds and hundreds of seeds out of those ones. So farmer's going to spray them off, but this is all spring wheat, so let's have a little look at the leaf. There's not much disease on there yet, but the plant is ever so small, and it was perfect at the time. When we drilled it, it was perfect. I thought it was going to do really well. But I can just see, you know, lack of moisture is probably preventing a bit of growth there, but we'll see how it does. I hope it does well for him, because it went in beautiful. Went in probably the best drilling conditions out of the lot. There's a set of tram lines. They always say if you can see clear up the tram lines, that'll tell you it's a good indicator of how clean the crop is. But because it's been dry, it's ever so clean anyway. So, but up the top fields, we won't go up there because it's steep going up the hill, and that's heavy. Oh man, I just brought that down the road. I don't know how we're going to fare this year. The roads are, the conditions of the road, I thought last year was bad. You can only but creep along because the blooming everything's just bouncing down the verges because the verges are so bad. I think we're going to be really hard. We're going to struggle this year, especially on the road with hay and straw and all the rest of it. It's not going to be a fun time at all, and people are so impatient behind you, and you can't just get out the way in those things. So I don't know. It's just part of it. Nobody likes being stuck behind anything. These are another one there, look, little tap root. So the tap root find moisture, that'll go down in some moisture. I don't know if there's any down there. Oh god, that's an inch. Yeah, and then it goes hard. Right, they reckon the end of May it's going to change. It's going to be a bit more unsettled, so there's still time for this crop to do well, if you know what I mean, if it catches a good rain. But there we go. That's probably a average over the whole farm there. It looks like that. Parts are struggling, where it's dry it's struggling. The clay tops on the banks, they always struggle, especially on this one. You can see on this one they're sort of bare, look. So struggling on those spots. Get a good rain here and it'll be all right. Got another field. Anyway, farmer's up there somewhere spraying. He'll be back in a minute. But we'll leave it there. That's a little look at the spring crops. This is the first time I've actually been back here since I drilled. Keithy has been back a couple of times with a fert spinner, and I think it's had 2 applications of fertiliser. This one's got a bit more charlic in it, so hopefully farmer will take care of that today. That doesn't look a bad crop, does it? That'll do. That one looks all right. Keithy tells me his bottom ones are the 3 bottom ones are the best ones. But yeah, there we go. Everything just needs the same story, and it's the same story across the country. The whole of the country needs it. The grass is burning up. Look at the headlands. Look, these should be up around my knees now. Everything is just burning up. Yeah. We have been haymaking at the end of May. Even if the weather came, there ain't no grass to cut, so we won't be haymaking anytime soon. It will be there's a footpath runs straight through the middle of this field. There's a man running the footpath, which is fine. I think we'll leave it there on that one. We've got plenty of footage. That's the farmer doing a bit of spraying, and he's spraying all sorts. He's spraying weeds in some fields, he's spraying fungicides in the wheats, so he's got it all going on. It's always busy this time of year trying to maintain everything. One year we'll get the perfect balance of everything. You don't get it every year, it's different. Every year it's either you know, the balance of wet, or trying to get the balance of dry, or last year we didn't have any sunshine throughout the summer, so we struggled that way. Just a constant battle to get things perfect. So the next video we're going to which is tomorrow, Sunday tomorrow, should be having a day off, but I'm going to go and get the drone. We're going to have a look around Jim's spring crops. We'll have a look around the oats at home. Yes, we're going to have a little fly about with some of the crops, and then we'll have a look. We'll go and catch up with the guys on their tractor run at somewhere and fly the drone around there as well. So that'll be a nice little touch. Thank you very much for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe, and we'll catch you next time.